And when you love what you do, you wouldn't expect anything in return. And that is real service to people. That's why, it's called a gift because you're present with what you do. Your whole being is involved. You're very present. Yeah. And that's the best gift you can give to um, the rest of the world, however small the population you're affecting. But if it's out of love, it's going to go a long way. There's a strong typhoon in the Philippines today. Everything is flooded again. I see posts of landslides because that's what we have at home in the mountains, landslides. Yeah, keep safe and keep warm. Yeah, as for me, I didn't go to the park today, even if the weather looks nice, because I've been seeing police around the vicinity in the area for the past few days. And yeah, I think there's a government facility next to the park, and that's where they are congregating. So I think they've been keeping the park clean. Today I was thinking about, transitioning, because there comes a point in your life when you don't enjoy what you're doing anymore, or maybe you get bored. I feel like I'm bored in my job actually, because I'm not learning something new. Have you heard about the zone of proximal development? It's ZIP. I'll show you an illustration. We have a sweet spot where we are engaged. If something's very easy for us, we get bored. If it's too difficult, we are detached from it. And we want to be on that sweet spot where we are challenged. And that the insight you can get from this is, of course, to always find something that keeps you motivated. And that would be the sweet spot, the middle spot, something just right. And I think with my experience, I've been pretty bored. When I first entered, everything was new for me. And I was really interested with the trainings, with anything about teaching. And that kept me motivated and engaged. But now I feel like I'm not learning anything new. So I'm pretty bored. And I've tried, applying for higher positions so that I could learn something new. But if you know about the ESL industry, it's so, it's so racist. Um, I've I always get back a message or an email from the HR saying that they're not going to forward my application because of unique requirements. And you know what those requirements are. And it doesn't only happen here in Vietnam, it happens in Thailand, in Japan, even anywhere, in South Korea, in China, in Taiwan. So yeah, I felt like, why am I insisting myself on this industry that, you know, doesn't want me? Of course, there are also institutions or educational institutions looking for Filipinos, but we are paid lower. Also, part of this is my TA the other day when I entered the class, I she put two students in the middle of the class. She pulled the chairs. They were in the middle of the class, and then that was after my break. So when I entered, she said, "Could you look after these two kids? They haven't learned anything in the past units or nothing. They learned nothing in this class," and she was mad at them. And of course, I knew her as this. I felt bad for the kids. They're the struggling students in class, but with me, someone who has more nuanced perspective on learning, kids have different development pathway, or it's different. Sometimes they learn very fast, sometimes they slow down, and also depends on the support that their parents give them. My TA has only one approach in teaching them, which is, to incite fear, just so they could do what she's asking them to do. And I looked at the worksheet, and it's not up to their level. It was too difficult for those struggling students, and I just felt bad. So the TA left, and I had to look after them, and then I had to make them feel safe and grounded again, not be fearful of what's in front of them, because the message you're giving them is that studying is not fun, or studying is very scary, and then they lose trust with you if you use that approach. They don't progress cognitively along with their peers, or not in the same pacing. They have experienced a lot of rejections, a lot of um, scolding from the parents and from the teachers, and so they're disengaged. And also, our curriculum is terrible. There's a lot of language input in there, lots of expectations that are not in their level. And the parents are expecting something from them, and are expecting something from the TA. So they hammer the TA that this kid should learn this by this level already. But no, it's the curriculum. It's just not the right one for them. And I'm like, why am I here? And I'm ready to put the solution. Like, I don't care what they would say. I'm deciding to identify which is level appropriate for them. That's one thing I'm doing. But at the same time, I feel like this is not for me anymore. It's not to say that I'm not grateful for what I have, but you get that feeling that you want to transition to the next stage already. And I also I'm also trying to check on myself to see that I'm I'm not being swayed by my emotions. And when you decide with your emotions, it usually is, I don't know, it's a hit and miss thing. But yes, I'm trying to go somewhere deeper, apart from the emotions of boredom and disengagement. Looking deeper into myself, and how I did that is, of course, finding what my strengths are, and the reason why I enjoyed this job in the first place. And what I remember is that it's because in my previous job, courseware has a lot of arts and crafts activities, and I love those. Right now, I'm banking on that, my inner knowledge of myself, and that's really important when deciding about something. Knowing 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 yourself, um and what makes you energized. I miss those things, and I'm looking for those things, and that's also the reason why I actually think that I'm not a fit for university teaching, because I want something working with my hands, like knitting, sewing, uh, crocheting, and painting. I have opportunities in the Philippines where I could probably do this, but what's stopping me is actually the salary. So it's easy to think about it and just say you go where you love, the path that you love, but then you also have responsibilities. And yes, I'm trying to balance it, transitioning to something, and have the reason not from negative starting point, like boredom or disengagement, but rather look for um, the one that gives you energy, which is something that you love. And when you love what you do, you wouldn't expect anything in return, and that is real service to people. That's why it's called a gift, because you're present with what you do. Your whole being is involved. You're very present. Yeah. And that's the best gift you can give to um, the rest of the world, however small the population you're affecting, but if it's out of love, it's going to go a long way. Yeah, I was looking at Waldorf, and I know of Waldorf for a long while because it was my neighbor back in Baguio. They had this Waldorf school in their house, and I saw what they did, but back then I was like, I wasn't. It wasn't my interest yet. But then I saw that from grades 1 to 5, their approach is the arts. Then that blew my mind. Wow, there's a school whose approach is the arts. And yes, I'm looking towards that direction actually, and I yeah, let's take the small steps. All right, keep safe, everyone, wherever you are. It's rainy season here in Southeast Asia.